Goal for so many people, their vision is comfort, but they don't know. That's their vision. Comfort. And so they will walk to any level until they get to that place that they identify as comfort. And then they cannot go beyond that point. They will recycle that status the rest of their life.
If everybody is wise, wisdom will be common with that value.
Feedback from the future.
Goal for so many people, their vision is comfort, but they don't know. That's their vision. Comfort. And so they will walk to any level until they get to that place that they identify as comfort. And then they cannot go beyond that point. They will recycle that status the rest of their life. That point could be $10 million. It could be a net worth of $20 million. You think it's easy to be Elon Musk? Do you know what it is to be moving at that level without any financial need? You know that. Do you know what $1 billion is? We don't have a flip chart. Do you know what $1 billion is? No, do we know? $1 billion is how many millions? 1,001 million dollars. 1,001 million dollars. So if somebody has $1 billion and decides that every year I'm going to be spending $1 million for fun, I'm just going to spend. Do you know what $1 million is? It's a lot of money. And somebody says I'm going to spend $1 million every year for the rest of my life. Do you know that if he spends $1 million every month, how much will he spend in 1 year? How much will he have spent in 10 years? How much will he spend in 30 years? You don't understand. That is, he chose to be spending $1 million every month for nonsense. After 40 years, after 30 years, don't forget that he made that money maybe in his 40s. He really doesn't have more than 30 years more to live. Maybe another 40 years. If he has another 60 years to live, that is, he will live up to 100. He will still be spending $640 million. He cannot finish $1 billion if he's spending $1 million every month. He can't finish it. So for somebody to have billions of dollars and still be working as if he has not made a dollar in his life, creating projects, creating new things, not just maintaining the wealth, creating new industries, new markets, and keep moving. Do you know what it means for somebody to wake up and say that we want to create, tourism to space? So people will ask you, sorry, who are going to be your customers? Do you know that you may not be able to receive such a dream? Because you might not know anybody. You may not know anybody that wants to go to that. So you will not see the market. It's not possible in your mind that anybody is going to be patronizing you to be going to see space and come back. Do you know how much it's going to cost them? Elon can dream of that because he has many friends who can do that. It's nothing to them. Jeff can think about that. But the temptation is to think that they are like that because they are billionaires. No. They've been like that before they became a millionaire. And so when you go engage these guys, you realize that one thing they never knew how to do is to try to be rich. They never knew how to do it. It was never their agenda. And I've read all their materials. They did not wake up. Bill Gates did not plan to be the richest man in the world. Neither did Jeff. So when you were introducing yourselves, I can understand a lot of where you are that you don't know yet. And you have to destroy it. Because you introduce yourself by what you do. You will play to. You will stretch that thing to a point. You will not find any reason to stretch it further. You want to build the Red Cross such that years after you are gone, Red Cross is still getting bigger. When you're not going to talk about, if you are the one building Boy Scouts and it's still on, how many years after Colin Powell, what's his name again? Did I get his name right? Gordon Powell. You want to build HP. HP has been around for over 100 years. They saw the First World War. They saw the Second World War. All kinds of natural disasters. They are still the premier business in their industry, admired by their peers. You want to build that kind of company? Look around you. How many businesses that you have known of your friends, of your peers, of your mentors that have survived 100 years? First of all, for the most part, you were under colonial rule. You probably don't have that model at all. The same thing in Nigeria. The same thing across Africa. You see, it's easy for a Caucasian boy to have such a dream. Because when he looks around, he sees so many. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, American Express, Disney World, Procter & Gamble, Colgate. You can see all these companies that have been around for years. So he can see what people that look like him. So it's easy for him to dream. Unlike a black boy, when he wakes up, what is he going to think about? Michael Jordan is still alive, even. Hello? Pele? Or who? Oprah? She's still alive. Her wealth is not tested yet. Do you know what it means for your work to survive? You know, somebody told me, we've built this. I said, with due respect, they are going to forget it. You've not done enough. Do you know what it means for you not to be here to defend your legacy? And it continues to shine and shine and shine. You think it's easy just because your sons went to name a library after you. Watch. Your sons will soon go weary by themselves when life happens to them. They will forget about everything you are creating. Do you know what it means for people to keep talking about Benjamin Franklin? Do you know that all of that is tied to an intentional, agenda-driven helicopter view over everything? So the first thing I'm trying to establish here is you'll be surprised that you don't know what you want. You'll be surprised that you have an idea of what you want based on your history of lack. You'll be surprised that you have an idea of what you want, but it's based on your history of lack. And your history of lack is not just about what you lack, but what you lack plus the lack you have seen in other people. Including your parents, your neighbors. You'll be surprised that you are trying not to be something than you are trying to be something. Oh, come on. Do you get that? You'll be surprised that your commitment is more about not ending up in a particular way than ending up in a particular way. For example, when a soccer match is being played, how many of us follow soccer at all? But you understand the psychology of soccer. You know you can be on the pitch, 11 players. One is trying to win. One is trying not to lose. There are two different teams. They look like they both came to win. They dress the same way. They're all built, physically, everything, it looks the same. But there's a team who is not necessarily trying to win, but he doesn't want to lose. In other words, losing is his benchmark. And there is a team that wants to win. It's like failure and success. Because you can do this at any time. At any time if you want to do that, please. Are we together? Somebody is trying not to fail is different from somebody that is trying to succeed. It's not necessarily trying to succeed. It just doesn't want to fail. And I beg to say that most people actually are not trying to succeed. They just don't want to fail. In other words, failure is their benchmark. They really don't know what success looks like. But they are clear about what failure looks like. But if you call the person who succeeded and the person who failed to come and talk about the future, you'll be surprised that they will have the same curriculum. You will see that one is going to be talking about all the things he did that didn't give him the results. But when you flip it, the guy who is talking about what he did that gave him the result, who succeeded, they're talking about the same thing. They both have maximum results. Because one failed, he has a lot to teach. And everything is right. Sorry, who will you listen to? A pastor who says stealing is bad. And an armed robber who says stealing is really bad. Who is the most credible teacher? But people say you cannot teach what you don't. You know, people say that you should not listen to an armed robber. People have to teach what they practice. So they say, you know, a pastor should be the one that is credible enough to teach us that armed robbery is bad. No, he has never stolen before. It doesn't make him less a thief. He probably has not been tempted at that level. Because you are not a thief because you stole. You steal because you are a thief. You are not a thief because you stole. I need you to understand this. You are not a thief because you stole. You steal because you are a thief. Such that if you don't ever have the misfortune of stealing in your lifetime, it doesn't make you less a thief if you are a thief, whatever made you a thief. You may never steal. It doesn't mean you are not a thief. Given the right pressure, in the right circumstance, if you are a thief, you are going to steal. No matter the pressure, if you are not a thief, you are not going to steal. So when people get into government and they start stealing, you think it's intentional. A lot of times they are as surprised as you watching them. The guy is also saying, wow, I'm stealing now. Wow, wow, wow. Look at me. When he was campaigning and he said, we are going to fight, he meant it at the level that he understood himself. But when he got into government introduced him to him. Because government is a pressurized society, pressurized community everywhere. So government introduced him to him. Both us and him were meeting him at that level for the first time. As you are criticizing him, he's criticizing himself too. Ah, man. Look at you, man. But you don't see that. He's surprised too that, man, I'm doing this now. God. Now that's somebody I know very well. PK, I think I should resign. I said, well, your choice. So you don't understand. I'm doing this. And I'm doing it. I said, well, you just met yourself. Initially, this environment is corrupt. The environment's corruption is not your problem. It's who you are. And that who you are is not who you are born to be, it's who you have become without knowing. The idea is there can be propensities, there can be potentials, there can be possibilities in you that you are not aware of at all. You are not planning based on it. You will be stunned at your level of contentment. For example, you will be stunned that except that an intervention comes, you will not pursue anything beyond $20 million. You will be stunned how everything will become too much work for you all of a sudden. And you wake up in the morning, look. Somebody told me, I'm going to retire by 40. I said, I know what that means. When you understand what is going on in the world, you can't think of retirement. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. I want to stop working. Those are these are lazy talk. Those are just people who are just trying to do enough to buy themselves some level of authority so that they can feel better than some people. In the real world, there's no such thing as I'm retiring. From what? The day you die is your retirement. Your breath is proof there's something higher to conquer. So when I hear people introduce themselves, I've checked this thing. You see, I've checked this, I've done research on this, and I'm documenting it in my book, Dreaming from the Future. Once you tell me what you do as the introduction of who you are, I know you don't know who you are yet. You have an idea? I say this very humbly. Please don't feel bad. That's why we are here. Don't feel bad. We are all growing. I wasn't born with this knowledge myself. I had to elevate. So let's be clear. When people say, introduce yourself, please tell us about yourself. And somebody starts by saying, well, I'm a culture shaper. He knows what he's saying. You think it's easy to say it, just that you have never said it. Well, so tell us about yourself. My name is Olakunle Soriyan. Part of what I do is raising the consciousness of the human race. I am doing this. I do that by, if I have more time, then I talk about. Everything you are describing is your tool. It's not who you are. Your platform of expression. They are not who you are. What is your mission? Listen, and that's what I talk about storytelling. When I ask people the question when they come for hiring, tell me about yourself. And they start saying, I went to so school. That's not you. That's what you have done. And that is not your efforts alone. That's the efforts of so many people, including your parents who paid your school fees. So that is not who you are. Tell me about you. Somebody can say, well, I'm a thinker. That's you. I'm a creator. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't say, my name is this, I'm an engineer. Do you know how many engineers are in the world? What you are saying to the big ears is that you are nobody. Do you know how many engineers work for them? You are not a software developer. That's not who you are. That's what you use to express your mission. What's your mission in the world? I am raising 80 million action impact makers locked into my ideology. I am creating a new 1%. Do you know? There's nowhere I have said that people don't say so. We need to talk. They want to talk to me straight. Billionaires. People you can't believe. What do you do? So I'm raising my own 1%. What did you say again? I'm creating my 1%. You think they didn't hear you? 10 minutes after, just come back. We need to talk. Do you have your card? They want to talk to you. They know you are a power player. Straight. Your own 1%. Now they want to know. They want to know if you are serious or if you are just talking. But they don't want to take the chance that you are not serious and miss out. So they have to engage you. So what is your mission? Okay, so if everybody buys your software, my friend, what does that mean? That is your mission. That's what you must find. What does that mean? If everybody is listening to Pompey in the world right now, the reason why Pompey is not going to get on drugs, the reason why he's not going to get carried away and abandon his family and begin to live crazily is because he understood that all of these things happening are a tool. And I knew it from the beginning. So they are a means to an end. They are not the end. The disaster is most of the musicians don't know that end. So what they are experiencing is their end. So they end.
Access full video on Illuminate. Tap link to get started today.